What's going on, everybody? Hope your Saturday is going well. Hope you're safe, as you can be anyway. But got a few comic book updates to go over here. Some stuff DC's doing, some stuff Marvel's doing, and how they're going back and censoring old books. So since they are deciding to pause a lot of their work, it's like, hey, let's go back. We'll get you some work. We'll get you some work censoring old books. So I want to get into that, but let's start here because this is going to be an annual thing. Another comic book shop pulls the plug. Owner of Lee's Comics pulls the plug after more than 37 years. The thing that I can't talk about has caused the Mountain View business to close permanently. And that's pretty scary. And it's a big deal. And it's going to keep happening. You're going to see this happen probably weekly. As long as everything that's going on right now continues, you're going to see not just comic book shops, but a lot of small businesses kind of bite the dust, and it really sucks. Because I feel like at the end of the day, when all of the dust settles on everything, I feel like the only ones that are going to be left are big box stores, the big corporations, and that just really irritates me, and it's sad to think about. But at least one of them is kind of stepping up to the plate. So I've had some criticisms of DC Comics, but they've set things back. They're not going ahead with digital publishing for right now. It seems like the backlash has bit them. And now they're actually doing something right. So DC Comics is donating $250,000 to charity for comic book stores Jim Lee to auction sketches. I think this is good news. This will definitely help a little, and it's better than nothing. That's actually most of the money that DC Comics makes. I think it's like $300,000 or maybe $300 million. I don't remember the exact number. It's one of the two, but DC Comics doesn't make very much for Warner Brothers Media. So this is actually pretty significant because this is a big chunk of the money that they actually bring to the table. So I was kind of surprised to see this. Marvel hasn't announced anything. The only thing their editor-in-chief seems to care about is New York food shops. Doesn't seem to give a damn about comic book shops, but he does care about his local restaurants. Editor-in-chief of Marvel, everybody. But DC Comics is stepping up a little bit. Here's the statement. Warner Media has announced that DC is donating $250,000 to the Book Industry Charitable Foundation aimed at helping comic book stores and their employees. In response to everything that's going on right now that I can't talk about it because I'm not Phil DeFranco or H3H3 and its impact on the comic book direct market, DC is donating $250,000 to the Book Industry Charitable Foundation to provide support for comic book retailers and their employees during this time of hardship. And that's the statement. So I think that's pretty good. There's actually some stuff in here. I'm going to link this in the description because there's an eBay auction page where Jim Lee he'll be auctioning 60 original sketches of DC characters. And I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to link this story in the description. In the story, there's a link to the eBay and stuff. So if you want to go support a good cause, that's an option for you to do. Next up, Marvel Comics pausing work and release of 1/3 of its May and June titles. This was a long time coming. Marvel has been waiting to the last minute for a lot of things, but it seems like they're going to stay on hold, and I don't think you're going to see any digital books from them until they can figure out a way to get comic books out to people. I think behind the scenes, DC and Marvel are both trying to put together a network to get comic books out to people. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, Diamond was originally the sole distributor for comic books. So Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, all these outlets would send their books to Diamond, and Diamond would distribute those, to all the comic book shops. Diamond is done. In fact, I don't think Diamond is going to come back. There's reports that they can't pay their workers and that they're having money problems. They're not paying their vendors. I think Diamond is going to fold during this whole thing going on. So I think all of the companies know they need to figure things out. They need to figure out a new way to get comics to retailers. And, how do they do that? Well, they're going to have to figure that out, aren't they? They're going to have to figure that out. And that's a whole new can of worms that they have to deal with. So once they can figure that out, I think maybe we can get the ball rolling again with some things. But until then, Marvel is pencils down. Marvel Entertainment is immediately pausing work on and the release of approximately 1/3 of its May and June comic book issues. A spokesman confirmed for Newsrama Marvel's representative said 15 to 20% of its solicited titles would be affected, as some are twice monthly in May and June. The decision to pause work on the affected titles, according to the spokesman, is to help spread the amount of publishing product over the coming weeks and months. Asked when the publisher intends to resume publishing the issues not affected by the pause, the Marvel spokesman said, as soon as more information is available, we will outline our long-term plans. Marvel began telling creators involved with the suspended titles of the decision Friday, and the company spokesman reassured Newsrama that all talent will be paid for their work to date. So, it's starting to get a little bit worse for the big two, and a lot of the comic book pros have been going crazy over on Twitter. I talked about that in my previous video a little bit, because now you have comic book shop owners coming out and talking about they're going to take out people that they don't like. They did this to Ethan Van Sciver, and those messages were crazy. I'm going to go over that tonight in my live stream, talk about that a little bit more. Yeah, people are getting a little upset about things that are going on right now. Finally, Marvel seems to have stopped a lot of the work they have going on. However, they seem to have plenty of time to go back and censor old books, which is pretty crazy. So I get some example here, and I talked about this in my previous video as well, but now we have more evidence of it. They're actually going inside the books and doing this, not just the cover. We had this one right here. This is from Mutant Massacre. And the image of Wolverine right here, as you can see, is like this. And then they cut out his cigar right here for the cover. It's not just the covers that's getting censored. They're doing it with the inside panels as well. You can see Wolverine here with the cigar. And then to the right, he's talking. They just took it out. The guy who drew this, Dan Fraga, said issue 168 of Wolverine was the first issue Marvel decided to take away Wolverine's cigar. Instead of asking me to fix it, they had the bullpen fix it. I'd rather I had. Besides, Logan has a healing factor, which I've always found funny. So Wolverine hasn't been allowed to smoke in comics for a long time, which is stupid. I mean, technically, can Wolverine even get drunk? Can he even really drink and get intoxicated? Because wouldn't his healing factor be able to keep up with the processing of the alcohol? So I've always been a little baffled by these decisions. Like, Wolverine can't get cancer from smoking. His lungs will heal because of his mutant healing factor. So all the damage that's being done by the cigars or whatever, like, his mutant ability would take care of it. So there's a reason that he's able to smoke. But I get it. Kids used to read comics. They don't really anymore, but you don't want them seeing that. So I get it, but going forward, if you want to do that, that's fine. But why are you going back and changing the way comics used to be? I think that's stupid. If you don't want to have him smoke now, that's fine. But don't go back and censor old books. I think that's kind of some BS. Like, if I go and buy a trade paperback of some old stuff, I want the old stuff as it was presented. I don't want it censored. I think that's ridiculous and kind of stupid. But, what can I do? I don't run Marvel. I mean, they just want to lose money, I guess. If anything, I guess this means the old book will be worth a little bit more because it'll have the cigar on it. So I guess that's something. Them censoring books isn't anything really new. DC's been doing it for a while, mostly with women, changing them up, covering them up, kind of hiding if they're wearing, like, some kind of suit, like their underwear. There was that big controversy with Wonder Woman because of her underwear, and they didn't want you to see it. It was so stupid. But, Marvel has been trying to get that NPC Puritan audience forever, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get them. So they'll keep censoring and covering up women, taking Wolverine's cigars out. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Finally, the She-Hulk writer, after her "Men are trash" comment again the other day because she's looking for work, that's her job application, she's decided to throw the block bots out and join hands with the comic book industry and block thousands of customers. So you might be blocked by Dana. I'm not sure. I can't say if she block-botted or just block-botted certain people, but you might be blocked by her, which is, I think, stupid. I'm okay with blocking individually. Like, if you want to block me, that's fine. But, like, all of my followers, I think that's ridiculous. They weren't bothering you, but whatever. I mean, you want people to not watch She-Hulk, that's fine. You want people to not buy your books, that's fine. Finally, New Warriors. Find a little update on this. Now at 194K dislikes. A few more likes. They went up from 3.9 to 4.1. So I'm pretty sure those are trolls just having a good time. But anyway, that's pretty much it. We are almost to 200,000. It's going to be hilarious when that happens. Anyway, that's it, guys. Let me know your comments. What do you guys think about all this? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Also, if you would, share the video. Throw a like up. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.